Hey there, I'm Panther Boy, and I am a moderator for a VR game named STILT. STILT comes out on March 8th on MetaQuest 2, 3, Pro, PSVR 2, Steam, and the Pico. I just want to give a huge thanks to Rect Games and VR Kiwi Studios for giving me an early copy so I can leave a review on the game. I also want to give a huge thanks to the STILT Discord community. Also, a disclaimer before I start this review, I would also like to say there's going to be a little bit of spoilers about the ending and the levels and all that stuff. I also want to say there will be no multiplayer in this review. I will not be covering the multiplayer because there's nobody to play with right now since it's not out yet. But getting into the review, there will be 5 different sections of this review, all talking about different elements of the game. The game's story, the game's gameplay, the level design, and the graphics, and finally the music of the game. But yeah, let's get into it. So, in STILT, the story is pretty basic. It's as basic as it gets. You play as a delivery driver, delivering packages all across the lands. But then a octopus atop a mountain steals your ship. You then have to go collect the packages and get your ship back. This is a very basic and bland story, but it's really all I was expecting. I wasn't expecting a masterpiece of a story from 2 indie game devs. The gameplay is honestly pretty fire. The gameplay consists of you using STILT's hands, and you go and retrieve your lost packages. You can then use those packages that you've collected to unlock new worlds and levels. The core movement of STILT is literally just hitting the ground to move. That's it. There's no other movement mechanics. But there is power-ups, which most of the power-ups are pretty bad, but there's 2 power-ups in particular that will change your movement drastically. There's a grappling hook that will let you swing one swing per jump, and then a power-up that has a little propeller that'll let you glide around for a few seconds. Those on their own are just okay, but paired together, you can get some crazy airtime and some crazy skips. And if you have 2 of the grappling ones, you can basically skip to the end of the level on some levels. Now we move to the level design, my favorite section, because originally the level design was just going to be part of gameplay, but the level design is so masterly crafted, it's so good that I had to make it its own section. This section is going to make me sound like an actual fanboy, but some of these level designs are just so absolutely good. The level design is some of the best level design in all of VR. I'm confidently saying that. The only other games that could compare is maybe Asgard's Wrath 2 and No More Rainbows and Moss and stuff like that. But out of any VR platformer, this is easily the best. Out of all of VR, this is easily top 3. But each level is full of secrets, jam-packed full of secrets and secret coins and little rooms you can go in to get coins. Each level has mini games and puzzles and secret rooms scattered throughout them. Some levels are absolutely massive. I mean massive. They're so big. Some levels are so big, they're these massive playgrounds that let you beat the level in your own way. It almost feels like an open world experience. Just take a look at this. Each level also, on top of that, also has 3 hidden packages throughout that you'll have to do puzzles and platforming challenges and find secret areas, stuff like that to obtain them. And on top of that, in each level there's a time trial and a coin meter that you can do to obtain an additional 2 more packages, which is 5 packages for each level. The only bad thing I can honestly say about this is that in some of the more open-ended levels, you will get lost. Another thing is some of the open-ended levels are really hard to traverse, really hard. There's this one level that is it's so big, But the only way to get to these different areas is on top of these little moving platforms, and sometimes it can be really tedious. But that's the only bad thing I can say. Now we move on to the graphics. The graphics, they're pretty good. I wouldn't say they're like crazy good or they're gonna make you go absolutely nuts for, but they're just okay, you know, like they're pretty good. They're very reminiscent of Mario and Kirby with that really like bright, you know, color palette. There's not really any dark and dreary like colors in the game. Like it's mostly just happy, colorful, and stuff like that. But they aren't the best graphics I've ever seen. They're not the worst though. So yeah. Now, I hate to say it, but the music to me is just pretty mid and very forgettable. Like I really can't remember any songs from the game, except the only song that I will say that is amazing, the theme for the snow levels. It's so good. It's so good, and it fits the theme of the level so good. Other than that, I don't really remember them. All of the world hubs, they sound really similar, so there's not much of a difference. I was really bummed to see that the demo overworld music was gone, because that was honest, that's the best STILT track even right now. I'm so sad that they took that out because it was just so good. Other than that, I really can't remember any songs. There's none that stuck out to me, but yeah, just pretty fine music, I guess. Overall, STILT is a fun and simple VR platformer. The game contains 5 worlds, 20 levels, and a boss, and it'll take you around 4 to 5 hours to complete, and then probably like 6, 7, maybe 8 hours to obtain 100%. The game has some superb level design, great movement, good graphics, and a pretty generic story. But for the price of $19.99, I would highly recommend this game, and I give it 8.5 out of 10. It's very fun, but it isn't perfect, and it has a few flaws, but overall, it's a great time, and I'll definitely be coming back to it to replay this over time. Thanks for watching, and make sure to buy STILT for $19.99 on March 8th on PSVR 2, MetaQuest 2, 3, Pro, Pico, and Steam VR.